Rage's Channeler. Dragon Rage's Channeler is just way too good in these kind of decks to not play. I think we're gonna lose to Esper Shadow here. I also think that I probably would just be playing one Temur Battle Rage in the main deck. I'd be playing the 7th discard spell. I'd probably be playing the 2nd Fiery Islet over the 2nd Steam Vents. Voidwalker is like probably really difficult to cast, but is maybe fine. Yeah, I think Voidwalker is probably difficult to cast. You need way more hate for the artifact decks. You need to play Alpine Moon for sure. Probably some Vandal Blast too. A lot of kind of loose thoughts there, but yeah, play Darcy is the big one. So playing against Panda. Panda historically loves Esper Death Shadow. I think we're gonna have a hard time. I didn't see the hat request. No, which hat do you want? Probably a bad matchup. Don't tell Panda I said that though. There's a description that they want to play old school. Well, I mean, if what am I supposed to do with that, right? If you're gonna ask and say, hey, what do you think about the deck? You can't just have this caveat, but I want to play it in old school style. I'm just gonna tell you what the best thing to do is. We have a redemption option for me to tell you that your deck list is good. You know what I mean? Hey Shane, how you doing? Yeah, I saw the list, Juggernautica. This is the Steve's list, right? I think it's cool. Yeah, we saw this. Let me draw 2. Yikes. Auto Scout Warbin is a cool persist target. It is, yeah. I just play that in kitchen table. Did we get a flower? Did you choose the hat that you want? Dealer's choice. Okay. Let's do Viking, I guess. Been a while since we did this one. Okay, if they don't have any counter spells, we may be doing all right. Doesn't put me down to 2. We might not be able to beat Archon. I mean, I guess we could chump block the Shadow with Archon. I'm pretty sure. I mean, let's just see if this resolves. It does resolve. I think we just get Rites Archon. Just trying to think if there's anything else we can get. Can we get, if we get Unmarked Grave, Persist? I just gotta get Rites Archon. So now, best draw is probably like Drowned Loch. Teferi Time Raveler. I guess we can't cast Teferi. Drown is the best draw. Did not draw the Drown. I want to leave up a white source in case I draw Prismatic Ending off the Archon. Okay, resolved. This grows the Shadow though. 3 modes. I think 3 modes is good. We have to chump block, but then if we can find an answer for Shadow, or if we can draw Persist, we win. Yeah, but draw. Yeah, we just drew the Brutality. The Brutality was just like the sickest draw. Own it. And maybe miscounted some combat math there. I had to chump block the Archon, huh? Yeah, we were dead if we didn't draw the Brutality. Alright, do we tell Panda when he comes back that there was a big punt there, or do we just let it lie, huh? Not sure. Is this cheating? I'm gonna go exclamate. I'm sure that Panda's like sent the list in chat recently. Is this cheating? Wait, what? Must have typed it in wrong. I don't know if I have enough time. The hat's kind of hindering my vision a bit. Alright. I'm gonna look and see. I'm gonna look in his chat log and see the last time he posted the list. I think it's fine. He was in chat. He was looking at mine. Okay. Alright, so we've got lanterns in the sideboard. Okay, got Kaya's Guile. Vindicate might come in. I think he said that he got a 5-0 yesterday, so we probably need to bring in Teferi Heroes as like backup win conditions. Gifts Ungiven might actually be fine. Like no counterspells in the main deck. Yeah, no counterspells at all besides the spell stutter sprites. Spell stutter sprites also really bad against me. Probably a fine matchup. Chalices are good. Teferi's good. They can beat Serra's Emissary, so I don't think I want that. Maybe the brutalities are good. They just cut the thirsts. Can I post the link? Sure. The mulligan this hand, of course. Keep this one. I guess we just put back the Unmarked Grave. Panda says that they thought that the rights wasn't flashbacked. What are channel points for? Well, I've got a bunch of little different options that you can redeem your channel points for. I have a bunch of different options, but you know, mostly what they're there for is to like kind of increase, you know, user interaction. They're there to, you know, to be able for you guys to interact a little bit more, which is good. I used to like not really understand channel points either, but I think it is a good thing for people to engage more. Well, Chalice is pretty good against them. They do have a couple answers to it. I'll never doubt your 5-0 again. Yeah, we've 5-0'd a bunch lately. You got 3 in a row. Okay, Ranger Captain, but then Chalice stops whatever they get with it. I think I just Teferi bounced the Captain. My Chalice will live forever, of course. Looking at the list, it was just like 1 Vindicate as an answer to Chalice. There's not supposed to be vintage cubes starting today on Moto. Usually like the limited queues that start on Wednesday, they start in like mid-afternoon my time, so like 3 or 4 hours from now. It's not immediately. So if my opponent cracks the fetch land, we can instant speed brutality them. Or maybe I should have done that in draw step. Let's do it now. Because I'm a bit worried about Vindicate. If they crack the fetch, we can drown this, but I don't think there's any reason for them to crack it. 2 Kaya's Guile and an Unearth. Well, we'll take the castable spell. Kaya's Guile's good against us, of course. Yeah, we've had 3 million point redemptions. I'm sorry, no beats Red Headband, and then there was one more that they're not even sure what they want to do. Where no beats I keep the one that no beats redeemed. I'm taking my time with it. It's like more work than I thought it would be. It's been over a month though, so hopefully I can get it done soon. My goal is let's go ahead and set a goal for next Friday. Next Friday to have it done. Tentative, no beats if you're in chat. Next Friday for your redemption. And then Red Heb, and then Pink Hair was redeemed by Badaboosh, who I dyed my hair pink. It was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. I think I'm gonna dye it pink again. And then Red Headband redeemed for me to get a PO box for the stream to be able to send me stuff. And then I asked Esther if she could open it, and then she was like, well, they need you to be there to open it if it's gonna be in your name. And then I was like, well, couldn't you have just done it in your name? And she was like, oh yeah. So that one's still not done. That one's still not done, but hopefully it gets done soon. I am going to be at the 100 Burton. Yeah, I've signed up. It's a tournament that means a lot to me. Just going to kill this. I don't know if you went over this before, but this seems like an Ashen Rider main sideboard would be good. People keep saying that. I disagree. I think that Ashen Rider is a lot worse than Archon of Cruelty. In most board states, it's going to be worse. It's like, right now, especially right now, Modern is just not a format where you want to have generic cards in your deck. You need to have like you don't want to just put Archon of what even the Exile Archon, the one that we're talking about. In my opinion, you don't want to just put that card in your deck. We're gonna Chalice on 3. I think so. That's just their whole deck, right? Yeah, sorry. I lost my train of thought. You don't want to just like put Archon because like maybe there's a permanent I want to exile, you know? Like what exactly are you putting that card in your deck to beat? Yeah, Ashen Rider. Yeah. Like what exactly are you putting that card in your deck to beat? You have to like be able to answer that question. And it just like when I'm thinking about it, there's nothing that I feel like that Archon deals with, that Ashen Rider deals with. It's confusing because Ashen Rider is also an Archon. In my mind, there's nothing that Ashen Rider deals with that Archon of Cruelty doesn't deal with better. Archon of Cruelty hits so hard, it's crazy. And so it's just like Serra's Emissary does beat a lot of decks. It also doesn't do enough against a decent amount of strategies, so I think it's better off in the sideboard. But just besides that, just like people, you know, I just don't understand why you want to play Ashen Rider. We've talked about this a few times too. It's just, you know, people like Ashen Rider is just like the Brazen Borrower of this deck, where like every time I play like these blue mid-range control aggro decks, people want me to play one Brazen Bar. They say, dude, one Brazen Bar would be so good right here. And like whenever we're in weird situations where Borrower is good. And obviously Ashen Rider will be good some amount of the time, but it's just like it's the card that like I have to draw. You know, I have to be the one that has to draw Ashen Rider and have it be just medium a lot of the time. And I would have to draw Brazen Borrower and have that card be medium too. All right, I'm gonna wait on the Gifts here. Gifts is a great draw, of course. When I can still cast Prismatic Ending, that is true. Yeah, we have the Drown for that though. Yeah. I'm not really talking to you so much. Just in general. Like this is like these are the kinds of suggestions that aren't like usually going to be that good. Well, it sounds too good to mulligan. And we're playing against a Suspend deck. I guess I'll play Chalice now to play around like them drawing Force of Negation. So if our draw steps are exactly Archon of Cruelty, we could be in some trouble. This matchup's got to be so good. Where's the Secret Lair come from? Wizards sent me and some other content creators like a big loot box full of Secret Lair stuff recently, and there's actually like a whole thing where I got some signets. They have regular foiling instead of edge foiling, big collector item, and I'm auctioning them off for charity. And the auction's ending today. There's some info on that. Have I messed around with a Loam Assault deck with Unmarked Grave to retrace cards? No, it sounds really fun and really dirtily, and also really not that good, unfortunately. BMAT, 15 months, welcome back. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, no MH2 spoiler. I dug really deep in that box, and I didn't see any spoilers in there, but I might have missed it. Just casting Bone Crusher. Well, I've got 2 persists. If they have Force, we just have a second persist here. Now, if they have Petty Theft, we like the Chalice is taxing their Petty Thefts. We just have a discard outlet for the Archon. Yeah, I didn't renew MTGO Premium for this month. Your PayPal account should be looking pretty nice about now, Panda, though. You'll be happy to hear. Alright, let's just let this happen. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna get a spoiler card at some point. But, you know. I really hope that it happens before I become a full-time Dark Souls no-hit streamer, you know? Because it's just like, if they start to give me... Oh, actually, maybe that would be the best strategy to get a preview card, is to make my inevitable transition into no-hitting Dark Souls games. Then Wizards will desperately try to get me back by giving me the preview card. You know, that seems like a good plan. It's all becoming so clear. All right, GG. This matchup is like easily the best matchup in the format. This deck seems good. I mean, maybe it's easy to say that because we've just won, you know, 6 matches and now we're playing our best matchup, but I don't know. I think the build is like, I'm proud of this deck. I'm proud of it. I'm happy with where it's ended up so far. Yeah, I've definitely felt like the reanimation decks have really good game ones. Persist Unmarked Grave is really strong. And then the white-based reanimation decks are also like way better beating hate with Prismatic Ending to Fairy Time Raveler than other decks are. We probably can't mulligan this. Think this is better than the black-white version? Maybe. I think the black-white version gets to play Nether Shadow though. That card's really cool. But so far, like, I've been having more success with this deck than the black-white version. And I don't think that Nether Shadow or Nether Spirit, yeah, Nether Spirit. I don't think that that card by itself is gonna change enough. But I do think that I would play Nether Spirit in black white and not in this deck. I also I was trying to think about playing Chalice in black white, but it's just like it's kind of hard to get away from. Oh, whoops. Cool. It's kind of hard to get away from the discard spells, you know. I think we just hold up the counter magic here. Do you think this deck is still viable without chalices? I mean, the chalices seem really good in this deck. Obviously, you could just build them without them and build a more traditional esper control deck. But the chalice, like, you would just play counterspell over chalice in the main deck. But this seems good to me. This build. How do you use gifts here usually? You're usually gonna try to set up for a reanimation turn with Gifts Ungiven. So the most obvious one, or like maybe the most common one, is just getting Unburial Rites and Archon of Cruelty, putting both. So this is a trick that a lot of people don't know with gifts because it doesn't say it on the card. But whenever you're tutoring with a card that has a condition, and this condition is 4 cards with different names, you can always choose to fail to find. I guess I'm gonna let that resolve because I can just brutality it. You can always choose to fail to find on a tutor that has a condition. And so you can choose just Archon of Cruelty and Unburial Rites as your 2 tutor targets with this card, and then just put both in the graveyard, then untap Flashback Rites to get back Archon. But but you also have a lot of flexibility, and you can get like value piles, you can get cards that fight through disruption. You have a lot of choices. And was really hoping to hit a land here. They have their suspend coming down, so I don't really think I can afford to cast anything here. So I think I'm just gonna discard Unmarked Grave. Lily might be better than Cobra in black white. Yeah, I'm playing 4 Lilies in the black white deck. I think I was playing maybe 1 Brutality. Just different cards. Maybe pitch Charm. A weird one, huh? We're on Priest of Fell Rites. No, Priest of Fell Rites I think requires you to be like all in on the reanimation plan, like kind of like these versions that just have backup game plans. Still didn't draw the land. They have a Charlotte's Agent. This is kind of bad. Savage Knuckleblade? What? Man, Modern is so fun. I can't. Oh my gosh. I just love it when stuff like this happens. Okay, if we draw the land, we go drown, hold up, counterspell. We didn't draw the land. I think we have to drown the Knuckleblade though. Yeah, tier 1 Savage Knuckleblade. So they go Stomp Me, cast Bone Crusher Giant. We go to 6. If we draw a land, we can like pretty easily win with Gifts. If we just never draw the 4th land this game, then I guess, you know, we also are cold to some of their top decks too. This line. Now, you know, regretting discarding all these Unmarked Graves. I'm just gonna main phase draw 2, I guess. I don't know that we have any outs. Because just anything we can target with the Bone Crusher kills us. Opponent did show up for the match 5-0, yeah. Still lost. Oh, they used Burn Spell anyways. Brutal game. Brutal game. I mean, we still have a great matchup, but we get to be on the play for game 3. They'll play like the second Thirst over the second Gifts. I don't know. They're playing a lot of counterspells. A lot of counterspells. I guess I'm going to play around Foundation Breaker by waiting a turn on the Chalice, because I don't want them to be able to go turn 2 Foundation Breaker into turn 3 Cascade. Also, just like last game, need to draw a land at some point. When you bring in Teferi, you know, Teferi might be a bit better in theory than in practice, to be honest. But my general kind of thought process is that Teferi is going to be good in matchups that have a lot of graveyard hate, and matchups that are going to be slower post board. Seems like an interesting, flexible option. Damn it. And if about the state of Eldrazi, I'm not of the opinion that Eldrazi Tron is super playable right now. We had to keep this hand. They're not petty thefting. They're just gonna go on. Oh, did they just like side out a bunch of their Cascade spells? I mean, they brought in Savage Knuckleblade. They need to draw like Unmarked Grave or like land for Thirst for Knowledge into Archon. And now just yeah, sideboards into Teamer Trade Binder. The blistering speed. We can chump block with Snapcaster for a turn, I guess. Also, should I get a Watery Grave here? I probably can't afford to do that. Archon of Cruelty? Nope. Nothing going on. I guess their sideboard plan is just genius. We play Snapcaster and chump block, and we just have like, I guess we could draw Unmarked Grave. And they could have nothing. They need to have nothing. Which is not that likely. Yeah, going 6-0, play against one of your best matchups, get killed by the Nux. Modern is awesome. Your GDS list, I only have 2 monkeys with a per Scourge or Sprite Dragon. Probably Sprite Dragon in that deck. Oh, sorry, Scourge. Can't wait for Throne of Eldraine to rotate out. Can't wait for Throne of Eldraine to rotate out. Played Ragavan for Shadowing a bit and disliked it. I mean, I could be convinced, but it's just hard for me to feel like Ragavan just can't be bad in like a deck like that. And like it also just like does power up your Scourge of the Skyclaves. Because like Scourge really wants 1-drops. I guess we could draw Brutality off of the Charm, gain 2 life. Ugh. Too little, too late, huh? Rough stuff. Alright. Can't win them all. This hand's pretty good if it draws a land. We have some cheap interaction I'm going to keep. I know I said that last time, huh? Yeah, you still get the flashback ETB, but it doesn't matter. We don't have enough mana to go drown, snap, drown. Right? Did we? No, we didn't. There's no way. Was there brutality? There wasn't a brutality in the yard, no. But it is something we should have considered. I just totally forgot about it. Rogrin Triumph. Alright, now we're blessed with lands. Thank you, Clothis. No, yeah, I think your Knuckleblade Sideboard plan actually makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not joking about it. I was joking about it, but I do actually like it. I actually think the Sideboard plan against like the Chalice decks, like I think that's really cool. I'm into it. Creative, innovative, just big thumbs up for me. Probably Velomachus, right? Gotta be Velomachus with this start. I don't want to play around another remand. I don't know what I'm getting exactly. Probably get Collective Brutality, Archon, Unmarked Grave, second Persist. That probably give me Archon, Unmarked Grave. It's not that good. Brutality, Archon. We have another discard in the hand for the Archon with Thirst. Maybe we'll go to Fairy Time Raveler. We have Snapcaster in hand. T-Raid, 9 months, welcome back. Have you watched the MTG Remy Be Happy parody? I haven't seen that one, I don't think. I'll have to take a look. See resub, buddy. Brutality, Archon. I guess we'll just get another Persist. I think other Velomachus players are offering, man. I mean, their deck has to be Velomachus to go Triumph, Sacred Foundry, Remand. People just play whatever they want. Or one of Bone Charge be good as a second discard outlet for gift? I don't think so, just because Bone Charge is only good if you have Archon in hand, and we're only playing 2 Archons, so you'd have to play more. Just be a different build. Cool. Kind of really happy they gave me both of these. I'm not sure like what the best what the best 2 cards for them to give me was. You can play Fact or Fiction over Gifts. Gifts is way better in this deck. Gifts is so much better in this deck than Fact or Fiction. But I will not burst through your door and stop you. We have 2 more remands. Keep it obnoxious here. Ooh, we can't take the Teferi. Bit obnoxious. We have to take the creativity. Any word on the banlist update? It was just a historic announcement that Brainstorm is being suspended. Not a big deal. Next turn we can go Brutality, discard the Archon after they bounce it with Teferi, and then go Snap, Persist, Archon. Kill with Teferi with the ETB. If they put Velomachus into play, we just block. But I guess they could maybe take an extra turn and Velomachus again if they get lucky. Yeah, they probably should have banned Savage Knuckleblade of Modern. I'm just so tired of losing a Savage Knuckleblade. Oh, I meant to bring this up when I was joking about transitioning to doing a Dark Souls no hit full time. But I do wanna. I made a meme last night, kind of. It took me way too long because I made this in MS Paint, but for all my Dark Souls fans, I feel like this is like kind of a good representation of what it feels to play against the Hammer Time deck right now. And it just like lined up so well because this is, you know, the general public perception for the hardest boss in Dark Souls 1, and then the best deck in the modern format, and then they used, you know, Hammer and a Spear. You know, so Colossus Hammer, Shadow Spear. I feel like it turned out pretty well, but obviously not everybody follows the Dark Souls. I think I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Bounce the Archon. Been a good game so far. We need to go 3 modes on Brutality. Brutality's been really good so far today. Snap Persist. They sack one of their Planeswalkers. Archon just hits so hard, it's crazy. Archon just has no business hitting this hard. They sack their Teferi. And they can discard Ridden 6 Skulling Turn, Jace the Mind Sculptor. I don't think Chalice and 0 does anything. Is he your Twitter message? No, but I also don't check messages in the middle of the stream. They're somehow still in it though. Bounce spells were my weakness all along. I think it could have been corrupt to keep the land for the Jace bounce so you can hardcast it. Well, I'm 1 mana short of hardcasting it this turn either way. I'm about to draw a card off the Archon. Maybe though. But we have no Persist left in the deck? We have 2, sorry. I don't know how I missed that. I guess I want to go like Drown, Archon. We'll go Drown, Rites, Persist, Fairy Time Raveler. Ditching Archon there is there because we're about to put another one in the yard. Well, just like we have the gifts in hand, so we're going to be able to reanimate it next turn. Loudmouth, thank you for your subscription. Appreciate you, buddy. They're pretty cold if they can brainstorm into a polymorph effect. Pretty cool match. Did you ever use the 2-player queue to test decks offline? No, I just use leagues. 2-player queues are terrible for testing. People just play whatever the hell they want. It's really bad testing. There's a reason Saffron Olive plays the 2-player queues for his really bad decks. I don't know if he does that anymore, but for like the really like loose decks, I mean that's a good spot for them, of course, but if you're looking to play some less competitive Magic for still like some money so people don't just like leave or whatever, that is the place to do it. Yeah, no, if I want to change card between matches, I just drop the league. I know that it's like spews a lot of play points, but that's why I open chest, is to have a lot of play points so I can just drop leagues off stream. I value my time a lot more. Okay. Well, let's hope they didn't draw Remand, huh? Oh, they can also sack their Dwarf token. You still some chests when it takes light to do the same thing. Treasure chests are better EV if you care about play points. It's better to open chest if you care about play points. If you don't care about play points, it's better to sell. And I do care about play points because I like to be able to brew and to loot. Oh, they didn't sack their Tarn. I mean, that's fine. But now they're dead. If we can reanimate Archon one more time. They're going down to 1 life now. Yeah, Archon hits so hard, it's crazy. So if they bounce, we can go Thirst, Rites, hold up Drown for Counterspell, or we could just hardcast Archon. Could lose if they find a polymorph, so they might just brainstorm. They bounce instead. You can just hardcast it. I can hardcast it, but my opponent plays Remand in their deck, so this plays around Remand. I guess I could theoretically draw my other fetchables off Thirst. So I'm just gonna, yeah, so if I drew the Hallowed Fountain there, if I didn't fetch first, it could be a disaster. That was a good match. Good match. Bring in Force. Bring in Counterspells. Chalices. I'll probably play some Prismatic Endings. Like 2. GoBot says chest EV slightly below their buy price. I mean, why would they ever do that? Why would they buy for less than the EV? Or why would they buy for more than the EV? I guess because play points can't be sold. So it doesn't make sense though. But I mean, I don't know anything. Because people like opening chests. If that's the case, you know, more power to them. I mean, even still, it just feels like they could charge more. I don't know. They're hoarding Ragavans. Funny. Although limited queues are coming back today for MH2. It's honestly, I mean, that's a big part of the reason why, of course, Ragavans became so expensive, is that the limited queues only lasted like 3 weeks or something, because the D&D set came out. But now that they're back, I think that we'll see a little bit of a price drop in Ragavan because people will just be opening them again. So if everybody in the chat can do one MH2 draft, the price of Ragavan will drop, crumble to dust. I'll do my part too. Uh-oh. And Ren and 6 is so nuts in their deck. And just in the format in general right now. Ren and 6 super underplayed card right now. Oh, what a rip. Use the ticks you get from selling chests on entries, just open them and use play points, if not sell, yeah. That's what I've been doing, I think. Think Snare is hot right now? Not really. Every deck's just playing a lot of time. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just playing so many the format's playing so many 1-mana spells. And is also like completely dead against every Cascade deck. I guess not. Actually, it's not. Hold on. I've been thinking that it's dead against all the Cascade decks, but against like Rhinos, it actually counters a huge chunk of their deck. It counters Fire, Ice, Bone Crusher, Petty Theft. Maybe it's actually better than I was thinking. It is bad against Living End, but it still counters Petty Theft. Huh, maybe it's actually better than I've been giving credit for. I still have to think about it a bit more, probably. Alright, just pass. Yeah, I was thinking that it was dead, but it's just not. Made me reevaluate a bit. Yeah, the Chalices have been really good, though. Chalice in, like, these kind of decks, I think, is probably just mandatory for the time being. Right now, it's higher EV to sell chest and open them. Good to know. Thank you for the info, Lord. I still think it's probably best for me, personally, to open the chest, because chat likes to see chests get open. Or it's pretty remandable. But now we get to go to Teferi, hold up Counterspell. It's pretty good. See if they have another Counterspell. They don't play that many, yeah. I thought this was pretty likely to resolve. Archon. Archon is a cool word. I think like these, I don't know exactly what an Archon is. I think that it's supposed to be, I'm gonna let this resolve. I think it's supposed to be, you know, a character riding a Sphinx. Is that what an Archon is? I don't know exactly, but I think that Archons are really cool. I'd like to see more Archons in Magic the Gathering. I, Aspiring Spike, in my infinite clout and wisdom, hereby declare Archons to be cool. Definitely going to be value gifts in here. What do you think of opponent's deck? It's okay. Like, just any deck that plays Ridden 6 right now can't be that bad, and their deck's a very good Ridden 6 deck. So, Rites, Brutality. Snapcaster seems like a good pile to me. Yeah, Kavus are cool too. Kavus are definitely cool. I also declare Kavus to be cool. Hear ye, MTG chat. I, Aspiring Spike, declare Kavus and Archons to be the coolest creature types. Followed shortly behind Serpents and Leviathan. I haven't seen 5-color value for a while. I feel like it's kind of on the comeback. Nassif has like been doing well for like a 4-color variant or of a control deck. What about Kithkins? I declare Kithkins to be lame. They're just, you know, they're just halflings. Oh no, they have a okay, hold on. We can beat this though. This is fine. Let me use rights because I don't think I'm gonna have enough mana for. Oh, hold on. I've got a Snapcaster in the yard. Does that change anything? I can go. Yeah, let me just use rights. So they're gonna get a dwarf token, sacrifice that, but we're just not dead to the. Wait, they passed priority back? Okay, they're fetching now. We're just not dead to the Emrakul swing. We could just sack 6 lands and then like reanimate another Archon next turn. Draw a blue card for Force. I'm feeling pretty good. I guess I don't have a discard out for the one in my hand. So maybe I should chump block. I didn't draw a blue card. Maybe I should chump block. Three, 4, 5. Yeah, just gonna. This is bad against a bounce spell. Oh, it's bad against that too. So I guess I could win if I had sacked it. I didn't think that they had that card. Game 3 on the play. As the fetch. Well, yeah, I guess if I got to attack, they're just dead though. They take 9. They're at 9. Cool game. Cool game. But squirrels are fine. Squirrels got way cooler when Toski was printed. I would be fine if they cooled it on the squirrels for a little bit though. But you know, what is like, you know, there's like kind of iconic mythic creatures of each color. You know, like green has hydras, red has dragons, white has angels, blue usually gets like sea monsters. I feel like black should maybe have more archons. I don't know. I mean, archons don't have to be mono black, but this one's cool. What does black usually get? It's like their mythic iconic creature. Demons, that's right, of course. Maybe we could have. What about an Archon demon? Like a demon who has a Sphinx. Wizards, I'll accept commission for that idea. I accept commissions either in the form of money or preview cards. Up to you. Those Archons I could think of are white. Yeah, I think maybe I just like the flavor of the black ones. I think they're cooler. One says sorry about that. I don't know what they're sorry about. Let's go to 5. Alright, I want to put back the Force on the mold to 5 on the play. Is it an Archon type of angel? I don't know. I guess it's a good definition. I think that an Archon is someone riding a Sphinx. Is I could be totally off, but I think it's someone riding a Sphinx as an Archon. A Sphinx rider. But it's also true that Archons appear to be made up, so we can maybe just kind of say they're whatever we want them to be. But they appear to be made up. You're a counter? They have a 1-mana counter? Fair enough. To be first to rule. Alright, well, I threw out that definition, I think. I mean, Archon of Cruelty is also, like, not... I mean, it maybe is someone who's been given authority, but the character depicted in the art of Archon of Cruelty appears to be some kind of emissary of Nicol Bolas. And, you know, seems to be someone who's, like, Bolas is inferior. Bolas is, like, you know, Nazgul Rider. There's just a lot to unpack here, you know what I mean? I think I'm gonna pass back again. Shock and Sacred Foundry. Let's just not think too much about that. How did they shock it? They have double remand? It's like really all it could mean, to be honest. Be a bluff. But thankfully, we multiplied, but thankfully we drew 2 Archmage's Charms. My opponent said they had to open the stream. Then they sent an eye emoji, which is freaking me out. In the chat? I don't see their username, I'm confused. Fairy's pretty good against their Emrakul plan. Sauron's eye, yeah. Yeah, it seems like an attempt at some banter. I'm just too thick-headed to get it. Anybody who like knows how to make an eye emoji on Magic Online can't be ghosting. Yeah, we saw that they're on the Emrakul plan, so I'm just kind of totally cool if they tap out for Polymorph because I have Teferi. Probably just gonna hold that for that. Ask what they think about Archons. I mean, Drown is just better than Counterspell right now, so I guess I'll just use this. Are they remanding my Counterspell? Not the remand. I guess I'll just Counterspell again. I thought they would remand their own Wrenn and 6. I would have countered that. Windows key plus opens emoji keyboard. Please don't be some horrible shortcut to something else. Yeah, I should have known. Should have known. Windows key minus seems to have done it. Good joke, you got me. Congratulations. I've been had. Good joke. I didn't think that it would be true. I just really wanted it to be true. I just wanted to believe in something. Or 1 mana short of hardcasting Archon, right? Magnificent! Magnificent! If you bounce the crab. We could just plus. Come down to plus. Magnificent! Well done. They didn't remand Ring because they didn't have green. I mean, they still just get a 2-for-1 though, right? A Prismatic Ending then, I guess. I don't trust anything anymore. I'm okay not getting the emoji bar. It's win plus, not a joke. I just can't trust anymore. I've been hurt too many times. I've been hurt too many times before. So Landless is hard cast. Pass. Don't know what I would Unmarked Grave for. I just don't believe anybody here. I'm sorry. I want to believe. I've just been hurt too many times before. You can ban me forever if it's not Windows plus semicolon. Okay. I'll try. Oh wow, it worked. Wait, but hold on. How does this work? Do I can just put these into chat? Where did they go? Did I exit out of them? Oh no, I accidentally did the plus again. Wait, do I have to press the semicolon first? Whatever. I'm off of it. Oh, they're over here. I found them again. I'm back on it. But I don't think I can post those in the chat. I don't care about them if I can't put them in MTGO chat. It's just Windows and semicolon, no plus. Makes way more sense. Oh, Windows plus semicolon. I get it. Do I have to unmark Grave a Dwarf token here or drown a Dwarf? I don't think so. I think I just not care that much. Works out really well for us. All right, now I'm going to Unmarked Grave for Archon because if I draw another Unmarked Grave, I can get Rites and then reanimate. But if I don't do it now, then I won't be able to reanimate an Archon next turn. What do you think about a Jumpstart card to Unmarked Grave as an additional discard outlet? Like, radical idea. I was thinking about it. I just think the card's like a little underpowered, and like Thirst for Knowledge seems so good in the deck with the Chalices. It's hard to justify playing that card over Thirst. I also feel like you just don't want to do that often. It's like you can Unmarked Grave for a discard outlet, but you could also just Unmarked Grave instead for. I guess I'm gonna play another Teferi. You could Unmarked Grave for a discard outlet, but you could also just instead Unmarked Grave for Archon, right? So that only is good if you've drawn both Archons, which just doesn't happen that often. Presidente, 5 months, welcome back, appreciate you. So, not too worried about this. Our Teferi just bounces it next turn. If they polymorph it, we also just don't care because the fairy bounces either Velomachus or Emrakul. They sided in the Emrakul last game. They could have brought Velomachus back in. We've been a land away from hardcast Archon for a while. Now we can hardcast it. I could instant speed Brutality. What do I need to be afraid of if I hardcast Archon? I don't think anything. It would have to be like Teferi Time Raveler. Yeah, no, there's just not very much they can have. Let's go to Steam Vents. Okay, that's a start. So now if they have a polymorph, we lose, but they don't have it. Cool. And now we get to go instant speed Persist. This is going to be brutal. So draw step, -2, duress. Take Veil, I guess. And it's like surprisingly good. And then get Archon back at the draw step. We can counter. We have 2 counter spells up. I did plus the Tef. They attacked it with the Dwarf one time. Is maybe why you think the numbers are weird. A session. Pretty good turn. Hey, we're 7-1 on the day. It's pretty good. Feeling happy about the stack. Yeah, Teferi is really good in the stack. I've been having a good time. I might just play this deck all day today. All the Grixis Shadow players gonna revolt, maybe. Oh, easy keep. I did have a 2-mana counterspell. It was just too slow. I also later found out that the player who did that to me, I heard, was banned for cheating in a different tournament. And just like with them having the nuts, games 1 and 2, I just can't help but wonder if I got cheated there, you know? And then I punted against Jund after that, where they tapped out. We were playing a few turns where like they were holding up mana to deal with my Celestial Colonnade. This is definitely dates the story a bit. They were holding up mana for a few turns to like where they could answer my Colonnade. They were at 4, and then they tapped out. I was like, oh, I'll just kill them. I don't know why they tapped out. I guess I thought that they just made a mistake, but what I should have realized that they drew Slaughter Pact, which was like usually a 1 of in Jund at the time. I didn't have the read, and I should have had the read, and I lost. So my crazy start, crashed and burned, some bad beats. That's a long bad beat story. My life would have totally changed, I think, if I top 8'd that GP. Would have been crazy. Would have been my first PT invite at the time. Well, I mean, Force of Negation is being cut a lot. I have 2 persists. I think I'm certainly supposed to persist here. I don't know if this matchup is just great, but like even if they Unholy Heat my Archon, I just have Persist plus Drown up next turn. And then I got like this crazy 4-for-1. Okay, Petty Theft is actually pretty good. I do have a discard outlet. Petty Theft is good though. Cast the Ragavan. So do I go to Fairy Bounce Darcy or Ragavan this turn? I probably just Thirst main phase actually. Oh, do I want to Gifts? I think I'm just gonna Thirst because I don't want to fetch and shock. Yeah, clearly everybody should be playing Brazen Bar to deal with the Archon decks, huh? I guess I should fetch before Ragavan hits me, because Ragavan could hit my second Watery Grave. That would be pretty obnoxious. I know that a 1 of Borrower is becoming more common. I'm not of the opinion that it's correct to play. People like to play Borrower because it's like the kind of card that makes you feel really smart for playing it, you know. But in my opinion, it's not like a very good option. I think that the card is going to be like just like a little inefficient more often than it's going to be like a sick out to like these permanents. But you get to feel really smart when you put it in your deck. It's obviously not terrible, right? It's obviously not a card that's just unplayable. But I think it's just not correct to put it into the list. I'll block if my opponent attacks, yeah. But they have to attack, but when they attacks. So I want the 3rd Teferi. Probably not changing too much. I think I'll cut the gifts, they're a bit slow. Just play the first hero of Dominaria as like an alternate win con. This matchup's, I think, solid. We've got a lot of great cards. It'll be hard on the draw though. What are the 2 targets for the graveyard? Archon and Unburial Rites are the main 2. And then in the sideboard we have 1 Serra's Emissary. I don't think any other cards are worth playing. Alright, probably can't mulligan. I don't know. Maybe this hand's like, maybe we're not supposed to keep a hand without Prismatic Ending or Chalice on the draw. But it's also just hard to mulligan aggressively in a matchup like this. Like, this hand isn't any better. But it's just hard to mulligan aggressively against these kind of decks. Then we lose to turn 1 Monkey pretty hard if we don't draw Prismatic Ending. That's okay. We have game 3 on the play. Chalice is very good too. We're gonna be okay. Yeah, the Murktide deck is a lot less popular than it was a couple weeks ago. The metagame is definitely shifting. It's also true that like Hammer Time still feels like the best deck. Hammer Time also didn't top 8 at either challenge last weekend, and so I don't know exactly why that is. I imagine that like the majority contributor to that being the case is that people are gearing up to beat it. But it's possible it could be another factor. It could be that Hammer Time players are like predicting that people are going to be gearing up to beat it, not realizing that their deck is just pretty good at battling through hate. Could be just some variance. I saw like Sodek played against 3 Living End players. Or sorry, Sodek was playing Living End, and he played against 3 Hammer Time players. Living End has a good Hammer Time matchup, I think. And so like, you know, maybe like they got disproportionately unlucky and got the bad matchup. Maybe people need to be playing Living End again, because I do think that deck is good against Hammer. So there's a lot to evaluate, I feel. I'm just jamming Chalice. Just gets worse if you don't play it on turn 2. You think it's a problem that turn 1 monkey unanswered is so insanely strong? Yeah, like, I mean, I've been saying this, and maybe I haven't been saying it enough, but Ragavan is not a well-designed card at all. Ragavan is too pushed. Modern is also a format full of cards that are too pushed, you know what I mean? And that's also definitely the case, is that every deck in Modern contains like one card that's like, at least one card that's just a little too pushed. But Ragavan is certainly a really poorly designed card. It shouldn't make the treasure, or it shouldn't give you the card, or it shouldn't have dash. But one of those things should be, or it should be a 1/1. But the fact that has like none of those things are different about the card, just in my opinion makes it like a really bad design. It is legendary. I'm gonna try to steal this. Maybe fail. But it's also true that, like, you know, there are a lot of pushed cards in Modern that are still legal. But if anybody thinks that I think Ragavan was a good design, I beseech you to change your mind about me. They're getting actually kind of close to Drowned killing the Murktide. Yeah, they're gonna put Bobble in the yard, right? Unless I misread that. Did they not exile Bobble? I guess I misread. Oh, my heart. Well, if we draw Persist, we're actually just kind of in it though. Maybe not. One card short of being able to drown this. Game 3. To be on the play. I'm going to run it back. Matchup seems pretty play jaw dependent. Hammer Time, 18 months. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Back in my day, Spike Land, 50 viewers. Thanks, buddy. Back in my day too, huh? Ragavan is still better designed than Instant Speed, Cascade plus Force. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's definitely true that Ragavan is still a 2-mana 1/1 that is very fragile to Ornithopter, Young Wolf, to so not Ornithopter, Minmite. Pretty good against Ornithopter, but like it's bad against Lava Dart, it's bad against Gutshot, it's bad against Rin and 6. It's, you know, oftentimes a lot weaker on the draw. It's, you know, the sky isn't falling. The card is just poorly designed. This hand's great. Goliath CB, thank you for your 4 months. Appreciate you. Underlog did take me to get 200 viewers. I don't know. I went back and looked kind of recently at like the growth. It was like I honestly like started to have like 40-50 viewers pretty quick, and then it probably took me like 6 or 7 months total to make partner. And I remember at the time thinking that was like, it was taking forever, but in retrospect it was really fast. And it was like I had like maybe 125 150 average viewers then, and then started to pick up more after that. Well, my average isn't 1.2k. It's honestly the average is only a little over 1,000, barely a 1k AMD. But it is crazy. I really didn't think that I did think that I would be getting over 1,000 people right after MH2 released. I didn't think that it would last that long afterwards. I'm kind of shocked that it has. And maybe it'll last for a while longer, and maybe not. Either way, I'm enjoying the ride. If they have untapped red source on Holy Heat, they now have Delirium, but they don't have that. Let me just plus. We can go end of turn, Unmarked Grave, untap Persist. Over 200 viewers in April 2020. It sounds about right, yeah. When did I start? Followed in July 2019. Around then, I started right after Modern Horizons 1. I like really like a few days after it was legal on Magic Online, I started streaming and I was playing like this red green prowess deck with scale up Dreadhorde Arcanist I thought was really cool. And then I was one of the first people to play Rin 6 and Jund, and I got asked like all day every day, is Rin 6 and Jund good? I guess I'm gonna drown this. And it was good. And it was really fun. I played that deck for a long time, and then I had like another big boon when I was like playing Grixis Control, Drowned Loch into the story, like week 1, Throne of Eldraine. Good time. Let this one resolve, I think. How important is Steel Shaper's Gifts and Hammer? Not that important. Now that you have the Urza Saga to 2-drop Hammer 2, when in the past you didn't. They're attacking me. I just let that hit me. Yeah, Athena used to like sit in my lap during the stream all the time, but that's like back when I was out in the living room, and she like, well, she was also like a little bit smaller then. But she was always very good. What are thoughts on 1 Agent of Treachery in the sideboard as a reanimate target? I don't like it. It's like, if you're gonna play something like Agent of Treachery, you need to be able to tell me exactly why I want to play that card over other options. It's like, I am not a believer in just playing cards because maybe I'll want to steal something. And I just like, I don't know. Just Archon is just so much better than almost anything else. This card hits so crazy hard. Bob, 10 months, welcome back, appreciate you. At tier 2, what are you thinking? Subscribing at tier 2. Oh, we actually have a cool line here if they don't pop this main phase. Yeah, they need to not let this resolve. This was a mistake, because what we can do now is, I mean, it's so hard for them to play around this. We can go Prismatic Ending their Relic, respond to the sacrifice with Persist. I'd like a single copy of Serra's Emissary versus creature decks. I have a Serra's Emissary in the sideboard, and you're right, it's like only good against creature decks, so I like it a bit more in the sideboard. This is, what a line. Once 1/2 spell Persist may be awful. It would be awful because we're main decking Chalice. It would be. Oh no! What am I doing? Oh! I thought that this was the sacrifice trigger. Oh no. Oh no, disaster. I thought that was the sacrifice trigger. I totally messed it up. I should have left up the Watery Grave too. We're not in terrible shape, but we had such a cool line. I was so happy for it. This feels gross. At least this is a nice story we can tell our kids, huh? I don't... Yeah. So the play was to wait for them to exile the relic, respond with Persist. They tapped the... I cast Prismatic Ending to force the issue. They tapped their relic targeting me. I thought incorrectly that when they tapped their relic that they were they were sacrificing it to exile. I misread what the trigger was. They were just sacrificing it to make me exile a card from my yard, which didn't accomplish much, but there's not much reason not to. And so I incorrectly responded to Persist, but what I needed to do was respond to the activation. I don't think this is a bad beat story. This doesn't feel like a bad beat, just a misplay. Yeah, I guess it did accomplish a lot, huh? I mean, we're still, I think, pretty ahead. Again, Drowned Loch a Counterspell. But we do not fall for the Chalice check. I think that's just going to the graveyard for Murktide Regent, though. Okay. Chalice on 7. Be pretty good. I just Chalice on 0 to stop bobbles. Could Chalice on 2. Chalice on 0. Obviously should have done 2, huh? It's fine. We can counter the Murktide and we'll be in pretty good shape. Also, big shout out to Flusterstorm over Spell Pierce, huh? Flusterstorm a lot better than Spell Pierce there. Yeah, I think Chalice on 2 would have been bad. It just like does like stop their iterations, counterspells, abrades. But we have counterspell Drown in the Loch. Okay, Chalice on 0 was right all along, it seems. Well, Chalice on 7 is actually better than you think. Delver of Grixis, what a name. Chalice on 7 is actually better than you think because Archon is 8 mana. I think I'm countering. And it's like one of the few cards that does anything. I know we could bounce, but that kind of, if we bounce, then it opens them up to counterspelling our Teferi. Ooh. I'm gonna bounce first. Thirst, main phase. We can hardcast Archon if we draw it starting next turn. Powerfully out of Brutality range. A lot of good draws here. Unmarked Grave also lets us Archon. That doesn't. Oh, but we can double Brutality. We can double Brutality the Hair Murktide next turn. The battle continues. All coming together. It's all coming together. Opponent should have played around this. Oh well. We're gonna hardcast. Alright, despite our misplay. I mean, it was a misplay, but I just misread like what the trigger my opponent put on the stack was. We still won. Feels good. We're 8-1 on the day with this deck, which is really cool. I'm having a ton of fun too. Really nice innovation to be doing well with it, because I've been doing well with a lot of like the Dragon Rage, a lot of like the Lurrus, Darcy, Ragavan decks, but I know everybody's sick of those. So I've been really kind of stressed out about being able to innovate into like this really hard to attack metagame, but happy to like, you know, get one good here. Yeah, I'm really happy with this list. I think a D&T is a bad matchup for the deck? Probably, yeah. What did we lose to? We lost to Team of Rhinos, which is one of our best matchups because we have all these Chalices. And we lost to them siding in Savage Knuckleblade against us. It was, man, Modern's pretty good. So we're playing against Rakdos Lurrus. Already beat them once. I didn't feel about playing to here integrate. I think I've tried it. You could do it. You could definitely play like you know, we could play Mardu. Because we were playing we're playing like a more black-white mid-range version of this deck recently. Or like last Monday, I think. And so like this deck I thought was pretty cool. I wanted to cut the I wanted to cut the Cling to Dust for Nether Spirit, so you could like be more like this shell with Nahiri. I do feel like the deck probably wants to be able to play. Oh, there's Shadow. Interesting. I feel like this deck wants to be able to play. I keep losing my train of thought. Chalice, and so like Chalice is a bit worse than the black-white X shell, because of course you want to be playing the discard spells if you're playing that archetype. It's possible you could just like not, but that was kind of my reservation with playing the Chalice plan in that deck. It wasn't sighted in. You have main deck. Oh my gosh. I stand corrected, huh? Stand corrected. Well, we've been also talking about building a Darcy reanimator deck. I think that might be good because, but we're just testing it live right now. Oh, my headphones died. You don't charge your headphones for 2 days and they just die on you. Is jamming Stoneforge in this deck stupid? Yeah, probably. Fortunately, you just can't jam Stoneforge Mystic deck. Found out the hard way. 3/3 Scourge of the Skyclaves. Yeah, I've thought about Goblin Engineer as another Entomb effect. For the longest time, I was trying to figure out Goblin Engineer, Sharome with Goryo's Vengeance and try to combo off with that. Obviously, Unmarked Grave now exists and Persist, which doesn't work with the Sharome game plan. And so, like, as far as artifact creatures to reanimate, you have like, you know, Worm Coil Engine, Mirror, Battle Sphere, things like that. I guess I steal the Darcy, and then I can block their Ragavan and get a 2-for-1 if they attack. Yeah, it is cute that Knuckleblade does pitch to all those cards. That is something. Yeah, that's an old plug. I keep meaning to clean up all the plugs, and then I decide to be a bad streamer instead and not. Probably not gonna jump this turn. Next turn, either Gifts Ungiven or Unmarked Grave lets us reanimate. You go to Nahiri Plant, Oxavanga seems good. Yeah, it's like a fine target. We have 6 outs to. Oh, they didn't dash Ragavan because they had their last card is Temur Battle Rage. Guess not. All right, 6 outs to Archon here. Guess I should fetch. Yeah, if fetched would have drawn it. Okay, playing against Mardu Shadow, a deck I think that is pretty good and underplayed for anybody wondering. Probably don't want to change too much about the deck. Gifts might be a little slow. Kind of pre-boarded, you know. Should probably bring in some Teferis. You know, just play Hero of Dominaria over Time Raveler in this matchup. Kind of like that. Time Raveler is not bad, but it's also not that good. Yeah, how often do cards that are suspended in Historic come off? Because I know, like, I remember Burning Tree Emissary came off the suspended list. But I don't know, like, how often do they ever come off, or are they just there forever? Are you only bringing on E when it's on 0? I like E against the Hammer Time decks and the various food strategies, not so much like the Dragon Rage's Channeler Darcy decks. It wouldn't be terrible against them though. It'll suspended, unsuspended, then banned. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly wild that they ever printed Brainstorm in Historic. I mean, it's kind of the good kind of wild where it was really exciting. And, you know, not so clearly immediately broken, but over time just definitely proved to be too good. Maybe I should Chalice on 0. I kind of want to Chalice on 1 again. Did you miss it already? Did you miss what? Talking about Grixis Shadow, unfortunately, I still haven't been kind enough to play the deck yet. I'll get around to it. I wanted to play it today, and then I put this deck together. I'm like, man, this deck looks really cool. Maybe I should play Chalice on 0 there. Probably not. Next turn we can go snap Unmarked Grave for Unburial Rites, though. I'm gonna hold of Gifts instead. And I can get, I could put Persist in the graveyard and Rites, and then go snap Persist after Archon, which plays well around Terminate. Be a little late for Voidwalker to get us. We get Archon. Oh, right. Hold on. Burial Rites is definitely going in this pile. And then we could do like a more value-based pile where we go get Persist, and then we get Prismatic Ending, Drowned Loch? Maybe Brutality, Drowned Loch? Yeah, definitely Brutality. This looks pretty good. Rights, Persist, Brutality, Ending. I think Drown's better than Ending. Do you feel the worst matchups for red-black right now? I mean, like, again, like, the advantage of these, like, red-black decks is that you just have, like, a really even matchup spread against a lot of the format. Enchantress is the worst matchup for the deck, but the deck's not super popular. Maybe on the rise if Enchantress is, like, secretly good against Hammer Time. Did I play any more of the Blue-Red Lurrus deck today? Not today, no. I mean, I've just been playing so much of those decks lately that I've been kind of anxious trying to figure out a different deck. And I feel like I found a pretty good one for today. Oh, maybe I should have gone Snap Persist so my Rights doesn't get exiled. Could have been better. I mean, if they kill this, I can just go Snap Persist next turn. This is maybe more mana efficient because now next turn I can go Brutality, Snap Persist. Play around like a second Terminate if they have Terminate here. On game 2. Game 3 is probably going to be harder on the draw. Teferi Hero might be a bit slow on the draw. Maybe I'll play Explosives. Also kind of slow. If they had Terminate, they would have kept the Dothy. Yeah, that's true. That would have been bad. They could draw Terminate. They probably should have kept the Dothy anyways. Oh, easy mulligan. Keep. Not a great hand, but one that we're at least content to have. Put this together tonight, but I'm missing the 3 Katakis, so I suggest number Stony Silence. Well, the problem with Stony Silence is it turns off your explosives post board. I mean, you probably don't even need them that badly because Serra's Emissary is really good in those matchups. But I don't think I could recommend Stony Silence because of the explosives. It's really awkward to be on both of those cards against the Saga decks. Now that the ban list is over, is there anything you thought could have come back? I posted this on Twitter the other day, and before it starts like this crazy conversation, I would like to iterate that I believe that this card could come off the ban list. I don't know if it should, but I think that I genuinely believe that if Splinter Twin was unbanned right now, it wouldn't be that good. And I think that just the dynamic of Modern being so low to the ground, I think it would be playable, but I don't think it would be a super popular deck. I don't think that I want it to be. I don't think it should be unbanned, but it's the first time since Oath of the Gatewatch, like Eldrazi Winter, that I actually believe that Twin could be unbanned. It's a dangerous card to unban, to be honest, and anytime a card comes off the ban list and then has to go back on it, that's, you know, one of the worst things that can ever happen to a Magic format. So I'm not advocating for it, but that's my current position on the issue. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Any unban, especially unbanning a combo card, is high risk, low reward. Exactly how I would phrase it. Well, I wish I still had that Unmarked Grave. I'm gonna wait to sack this Explosives till the end of their turn. I don't. Punishing Fire is a card I would never want to see unbanned, where Punishing Fire is not a card that would be too good, but all it would do is like continue to push small creature decks out of the format. Maybe it's a good answer to Ragavan decks. Any Steelers in chat, huh? Did I read Jim's article advocating for a looting unban? I don't need to read it to know that I disagree. Looting would be, if looting was unbanned, it would be immediately the best card in Modern. And if you ever unban a card and it's immediately the best card, you've made a big mistake. You unban a card, it is, as soon as you unban it, the best card. You just really messed up. Deathred Shaman? Well, Deathred Shaman isn't legal right now. Looting is also better than Deathred Shaman. I would much rather play a format with Deathred Shaman than Faithless Looting. Rough stuff. Rough stuff. Alright, 3-2 that league. I think I'm gonna play one more. I'm having a lot of fun. Feeling good about the deck, though. 5-0 into 3-2 ain't too bad. But regardless if you feel like looting decks wouldn't be like that well positioned.